You can be a positive thinker, but have a body that's breaking down and you're forcing or faking your positivity. Or you can be a negative thinker and have the best diet, the best vitamins and minerals and all that stuff, but your mental state is keeping you feeling crappy. So we really have to bring both of those together, create a harmonious relationship so that we can have this experience called health or called vibrant living. We were built to thrive, and we can't thrive without vitality. Are you willing to let go of what you have been doing or thinking or practicing day to day? If we can't get clear on where someone wants to go, it's very hard to get them there.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Vibrant Soul Society, The Conversations. I'm your host, Baba Sam, and they call me the Miracle Man. Our mission for the show is to simply help you discover that you are greater than your thoughts. Then beyond your thoughts is your vibrant soul. So today we're very honored to have a special guest with us. So Bryan, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Miracle. I'm happy to be here. I love what you're up to and the message you're putting out, and excited to dive in and get to chat today.
So people that are unfamiliar with you, how would you describe yourself?
That's a big question. How would I describe myself? I'm a man. First of all, I'm a man. I'm a child of God. I am a infinite soul, and we clearly share that paradigm in common. I'm a health coach. I'm a nutritionist. Those are things that I do. I'm a lover of nature. I am a health enthusiast. But I think to properly answer the question, if it's all right with you, to go back in time a little bit in terms of like how I got here. Why do I even care about these things? Why did I get into nutrition and health and that sort of thing? Would that be cool?
Yeah, that's what I usually ask. You're a health coach, but how did you get there?
Totally, totally. And for me, growing up, I was not so aware of health. I was aware of spirituality and raised in a religious sense. So I had that connection to spirit, which was troubled at times due to the religiosity of things. But I just loved all things extreme sports. So like skateboarding, rollerblading, mountain biking, parkour, jumping off of buildings, jumping over fences, trying to become like a modern day or a real life action hero. I would watch these movies of Jackie Chan and Jet Li and all these really amazing people and the things they could do. And I thought, if they can do that, certainly I should be able to do that. And so that guided my physical pursuits into health. It got me interested in strength training and just moving more and being more athletic. But it wasn't until I was 18, I was at university, I was attempting to get big and strong. That was my goal for the year, physical goal, just to get big and strong, basically gain a bunch of weight and get big and strong. And a few weeks into that process, I got really sick, ended up having a really bad case of appendicitis, and that my appendix became so inflamed, it then burst or ruptured and was misdiagnosed at the first hospital that I went to, which was insane to me because I was in the worst pain I could ever have imagined. And I've got a high pain tolerance. I've broken bones. I've gotten stitches many times, sprained, dislocated things. But this was something totally different. Long story short, I went to another hospital. The first hospital totally missed that my appendix was rupturing or had ruptured. I went to another hospital and they tell me, you're a mess. We have to do surgery right away. And you might wake up with a colostomy bag on the side of your body. But hopefully it's just your appendix. And luckily it was. And so those doctors cut me open, cleaned me up, stitched me back together, pumped me full of antibiotics for a few months, which kept me alive, but it didn't teach me how to be well. And coming out of that experience, I started to have all kinds of digestive issues, energy issues, mood challenges. I couldn't stay awake in class. I was always tired. I started to not be able to digest much variety of foods. So it'd always be gassy, always be bloated, always feeling heavy. And I went from young, healthy, strong 18-year-old to like barely functioning 19 and 20-year-old. And I was like, okay, clearly something is not right. And I couldn't get any answers from my doctors in terms of like, why did this happen? Could I have prevented this from happening? What should I do now? And they said, just basically eat enough protein and don't worry about it. These things just happen. It's genetic. We don't really know why it happens, but it just happens. And there's nothing you could have done. And that just sounded like a bunch of nonsense to me, because certainly if I had created a condition for this to take place, then I could have created the opposite condition. And I was studying to be an engineering technician at the time. So I love understanding how things work. And that set me into finding a natural path. And she got me hooked on nutrition and supplementation and herbs. And why hooked? Fascinated with these topics, fascinated with all things to do with natural health, integrative health, the things that we can do, that you and I can do to change the course of our health journey. And that was in 2011. And I've basically been obsessed ever since. I ended up studying holistic nutrition, turning that into a career, studying health coaching, becoming a health coach. And I've spent the last, really since 2015, in this world, working in this world, working with clients and individuals, more so with men these past 5 years, has become my focus. But it was losing my health at a young age and then dealing with a whole bunch of side effects and after effects of a life-saving surgery that showed me, okay, no one's going to fix me. Like, I have to fix this. And so to help other people then do similarly with their own health has become the most rewarding thing that I get to do. And that leads us to today.
Yeah, that's great. I really like that realization you had. And probably looking back, I can say the doctors didn't teach you how to be like, gave you medicine, but they really didn't help you improve your life. Here's what we can do for you. Go on your way. But you said something really profound, that you created this condition that you have within you. Oh, I can create the opposite as well.
Yeah, so that was just it. The more I dug into, why this happens and how this happens, because my sister had also had appendicitis. She had it in the 12th grade, so the last year of high school. I had mine the first year of university, but we were pretty much around the same age, which was interesting. But she had hers taken out way before it burst, so she didn't have any of the same complications that I had. But as I looked into appendicitis, I started to become familiar and aware that chronic constipation seems to be a influencing factor. And that had been me for my entire life. I didn't realize it was supposed to be easy and painless and effortless to have a bowel movement in the morning. Toilets aren't designed well for us to have bowel movements. You need to have your feet up. If anybody knows about the squatty potty or a stool, you need to have your feet up to allow bowel movement to flow through. I was also lactose intolerant, so I was visiting the toilet a lot more than I would have liked to. I had all kinds of digestive issues and symptoms, and this constipation that had been with me for so long. It was this buildup of really like indigestible toxic material that I think pushed me over the edge. In hindsight is 2020, I realized, okay, I was eating in a way and living in a way that was allowing toxins to fester inside my body. If I had known then what I know now, I could have flushed those things out. I could have done an enema. I could have relieved the constipation. I could have massaged the constipation out of my system, probably, prevented a whole lot of pain and suffering. So it was that sort of cause and effect. Like, I'm the only one responsible for the health of my body, right? And the things that I'm experiencing. Nobody else can be more responsible than me. And yeah, like you said, if I created the conditions which led to nearly dying and disease and dysfunction and sickness, then why can't I do the opposite? Why can't I create the conditions to be healthy and well and vital and free of disease for my entire life?
And you're saying something really interesting. And I just remember in the beginning, before we went live with recording this, you were saying you built up all this toxic material in your body and you know how to eliminate it. And a lot of things that I see, the toxic material building up is our toxic thoughts, and our mental health declines as well. So it's really toxicity all around us, but we don't really know the toxicology between our thoughts and the body. So how do we step forward in this realm?
Yeah, I mean, there's a direct link between how we're thinking, how we're feeling, and the health of our body, and the things that we believe, subconsciously believe, and are telling ourselves day to day. Like, you hear it all the time. People will say, "Oh, I'm just getting older. I'm slowing down. I can't go up the stairs anymore. It must be age." And no, it's not age. It's just that you have an idea that as you get older, you're supposed to lose your function. And so you're behaving accordingly and you're expecting yourself to lose your function. And surprise, you're losing mobility as you age. But it's not just people aging that have this kind of thing. It's a unwillingness to let go of stressful thoughts and this ruminating on those thoughts and feeling conflicted, feeling constricted, which tends to happen when we're stuck in a state of shame or guilt or depression. Our body shrinks, our body constricts, tension tension builds up in different areas of the body. And yeah, there's a direct link between our thoughts, the emotions that result from those thoughts, the physical manifestation of, sickness or unhealth that then follows.
You were talking to me before sometimes that the body is on that. There's a correlation there too. If you're having digestive issues, they might be doing something to your mental health as well, that they can go both ways.
Yeah, so this is what's fascinating, right? And when you look at depression as an example, you look at how they treat depression medically, which is usually with an SSRI drug, a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So let's target serotonin as the magical molecule that's going to fix your depression, because depression, in that view, is a serotonin deficiency, which we know now is not accurate at all. But it might be part of the puzzle. It might be a small part of the puzzle, but it's not the whole picture. And so they will target this one molecule, this one neurotransmitter, which is made from a breakdown product of protein, right? You eat protein, you break protein into amino acids, and then amino acids get converted into something like serotonin or dopamine, right? Two of the most important neurotransmitters. If your digestive system is unable to break down food and absorb it and assimilate it and package it up into these neurotransmitters, it's going to be very hard, if not impossible, for you to generate healthy, balanced mood states, because those mood states are dependent in a way on the biochemistry. When someone's got an inflamed gut, they've got an infection in their gut, they've got an imbalance of bacteria, they're not breaking down their food, they're eating the wrong kinds of food, or they're eating food that's got pesticides on it, and it's poisoning and damaging their internal organs, their internal digestive mechanism. That is going to, in most cases, lead to you feeling anxious, burnt out, fatigued. You're going to have those kinds of symptoms. And if you're not careful, you might just think it's all in your head. And it might be partly in your head. You might be thinking really negative thoughts and staying stuck there, but it's also in your belly. It's also in your body. And so we want to address from both sides. We want to tell ourselves better stories and better thoughts to move us into a place of inspiration and optimism. We definitely want that. And we want to take care of the actual nuts and bolts and the biochemistry of what's going on so that both sides work together. And that's where I see the best outcomes, right? Because you can be a positive thinker, but have a body that's breaking down and you're forcing or faking your positivity. Or you can be a negative thinker and have the best diet, the best vitamins and minerals and all that stuff, but your mental state is keeping you feeling crappy. So we really have to bring both of those together, create a harmonious relationship so that we can have this experience called health or called vibrant living.
Yeah, that's a really good point too with the medical system. 'Cause I remember way back in those days before there was bipolar, just trying to figure out what I had, and they gave me the SSRIs and all of that. But they didn't really, they just give me the pills, but they never asked, how's your diet? Because that's where serotonin is really produced, is in your gut.
That's just it, right? You named it. I don't know the exact percentage. I don't think anyone knows the exact percentage, but a large percentage, perhaps a majority of our serotonin is produced through healthy digestion. So if it's not happening there, it's not going to make its way into your brain to fire those reactions and help you to feel good.
It's once again that medical system isn't teaching you how to be well. In my case, they're just giving you pills and not looking at the underlying root cause of it, your diet, your daily activity, whatever it is, your daily stress. They're not looking at any of those.
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes sense for that model, right? Which is a for-profit industrialized model. It makes sense. And a lot of people have woken up to this fact and they're seeking better. They're seeking alternatives. They want to feel empowered around their health. They don't want to feel dependent on some kind of chemical that might have side effects that are really difficult or hard to manage. So we're now in a time, and have been in a time for a while, where more and more people are putting less and less faith in that system to keep them healthy. It's great in an emergency, such as in my case, or even to get a diagnosis, such as in your case, but it's not the end all be all. And it's certainly not where we want to stay stuck. Even if we do take a pill and feel better, we don't want to forget that there's far more underneath the surface that we could be working with to create even better results and feel even better and better.
So you mentioned one of my favorite words is diagnosis. And I tell people, just remember, diagnosis is information. Don't allow that diagnosis to become your destiny, because the mind
Mm,
will attach to that diagnosis and ruminate on it, start reading everything about it to keep that locked in place.
And that's just it, right? You hear people use the words like my depression, right? My cancer, my diabetes. They're owning that identity. They're owning that condition as theirs rather than, maybe more accurately stated, the depression-like symptoms that I'm experiencing, right? Or the diabetic-like symptoms, the metabolic symptoms that I'm experiencing, which is a much more accurate and objective way to relate to what's going on in our bodies, but not become so enmeshed in it that it becomes part of our identity and part of something that in some ways we cling on to as a sense of safety and familiarity. And that can really keep people stuck.
Right. I like the way that you explained that you're experiencing that, but you're not that. And I even go back even further saying that you're the witness, the observer, you're the spirit soul, and your body and mind are the vessels. So we need to keep them up to speed. And so we have this good human experience.
Absolutely. And just one funny little tidbit I'd like to throw in based on our previous topic about depression and mental health. In the latest meta-analysis, which is just like a study of studies, they look at all of the literature across the board. What's the most effective way to support low mood or depression? And by far, it's not SSRIs. It's not even some of the natural things that people will take, although those can be helpful, but dance with other people. So communal dance was the number one thing shown to elevate mood and get people out of depression. So it's like, you don't need to take anything in some cases. You just got to move your body. You just got to sweat. You just got to literally shake that stuff out of your system. And I thought that was so cool that we live in a time now where science has validated that dance and dance with people that you enjoy, people in your community, is the most effective way to improve your mood.
Yeah, it just reminds me of this too. But we recently went through this pandemic, and what did they do? They removed the sense of community. So what naturally happens to society?
Yeah, you become sicker, you become less well, you become less connected, more isolated. Yeah,
It was really interesting too. And they close all the gyms and all this stuff to support our health.
I know, but they did it for your own good, right? They did it for your good. They're protecting us. We have to remember that. I can't even say it with a straight face. If anyone's listening, I'm clearly joking. That's clearly sarcastic. And it was cool. Like, we were living north of Toronto at the time, which was a blessing to not be in the city. Friends of ours would have like underground dance parties. Come, don't tell anybody. We're not going to advertise this thing. Just show up, have fun. It was such a lifeline for so many people who were otherwise going insane, stuck in their homes all day.
And they literally did go insane because they were stuck in their homes all day. And we see all the research out there, how bad it was for society to do that. So for people that are watching this on video and for the audio, you're really wearing an interesting shirt, Revitalized Man. So what is this all about?
Yeah, thank you. Revitalized Man is the name of my company. And it landed a few years back because what I came to realize was that what I'm really after, sure, I help people with gut issues. I help people with their nutrition. I help people with their sleep, with their thinking, with their lifestyle. All of these things are true. But I help people with those things because all of those things put together enable this state of what I would call vitality. And vitality, I believe, is our natural state. It's our state when we are free of excess stress, free of toxicity, free of conditions that would serve to dampen down our soul, our spiritual connection, our brain function, our physical function. It's where we feel good. It's where we've got energy. It's where we feel strong. We feel resilient. Our immune system is functioning. Like, all of these things are working for us. And it's that vitality that I see as the foundation to a successful life. Whether you're a banker, you're a business person, you have your own company, you're a healer, you're a teacher, you're a podcast, you're a coach, you're a gardener. I don't care what you do. You're a father, you're a spouse, a mother, a wife, a husband. Doesn't matter what roles you're playing. If you don't have your health and vitality, you're going to be diminished. You're not going to be able to show up in the way that you would want to show up and to be that empowering force for others. And so Revitalized Man is just that. We're putting the vitality back into the men. We're putting the vitality back into the world. We're doing that through really one person at a time, because it takes one person to decide, okay, I'm going to do something better for my health. I'm going to step up for my health. I'm going to take better care of my body. And that starts this cascade where more and more vitality can start to build up in their system, can become their everyday experience. And from that place, really, the sky's the limit, because you've got your energy, you've got your brain, you've got your body, you've got your strength, all these things that are going to allow you to not just survive modern life, which many people are stuck in a survival kind of mentality of just barely getting by. And I've been there, I know what that's like. But I don't think we're built for that. I think we are built to thrive, and we can't thrive without vitality.
Yeah, I like that word vitality. That's why I had the Vibrant Soul Society. Our soul is naturally vibrant and it's trying to ignite the body and mind, but we're eating a bad diet. So your vibrant soul's there, but the body is not in harmony. So you ruin this whole thing. Body, mind, and spirit is all coming into to balance.
Yeah, as whether you're approaching it from the mental or the physical, so much of where you start is just pulling out the things that aren't you, right? Pulling out the thoughts that aren't you, pulling out the beliefs that aren't you, pulling out the foods that are not food, right? The toxicity, pulling all that stuff out, getting that junk out so that this natural underlying quality of how we are designed to function, so that can actually shine through. That can become our natural state, our default state.
Pulling out the junk. We all need to pull out that junk to live this with vitality and energy. Because if you have junk in your body, whether it's thoughts or food, you're not going to have energy. You're going to be fatigued and you might be chronically ill or sick, and you're not getting to that root cause. So it's a really important work that you're doing out there. So I'm just really curious, like when I was really sick and disabled for a long time, when you were dealing with the multiple sclerosis, just dealing with all these health challenges, like where we would begin with your process. Like, how do we break down when somebody's like chronically sick? What's step one?
Step one is, a desire for change, right? So are you open? Are you willing to let go of what you have been doing or thinking or practicing day to day, what you've been eating, how you've been living, sleeping, etc.? Are you willing to make change? If someone's not willing, then there's nothing to do. But once you're willing, which I'm assuming from the question, we're talking about someone who's willing. From there, I like to start with, I do a pretty in-depth process, to be honest, in terms of figuring out what's going on with somebody. So I've got a sort of a get to know you call, big picture, what's going on? What are you dealing with? How long have you been dealing with that? Has there ever been a time in the past where you weren't dealing with that? When's the last time you felt good? When's the last time you felt healthy? What were you doing at that time? And so as I ask these questions, I'm looking for hints. I'm looking for themes. I'm looking for patterns. I'm looking for, how do we create a bit of a timeline to map out where we are now, how we got there, what happened along the way. And then once we've got clear in terms of that, like how did we get here, which can take a lot of digging and a lot of questions. From there, we have to know, where are we going to, right? What's the vision of that you have in the future? Where do you want to be? How do you want to feel? What would be an amazing win for you? If I could wave a magic wand and in 6 months from now, you could have had the best 6 months of your life, like what would that look like and feel like and taste? What would that experience be? If we can't get clear on where someone wants to go, it's very hard to get them there. But if we can get very clear on where that person wants to go, and we can tap into inspiration and a deeper reason as to why it's important, it's a lot less heavy, that journey. It's a lot more inspired. It's a lot more organic in a sense, rather than just checking boxes on an endless list of things to do. It's like reaching milestones on an adventure, right? And the adventure is you reclaiming or discovering your health. And it's going to be, there will be challenges, there will be obstacles. You're going to have to stop doing things and start doing other things. In terms of my work, what that often looks like as part of this process is an in-depth diet journal or a diet diary, right? So what are all the things that you're consuming on a regular basis? Food, supplementation, beverages, medications, drugs, whatever it is, all the things. What are you consuming? What are you putting into your body? And then from there, it tends to be quite obvious. Like most people, and I talked with someone just recently about this, a new client. He came in and he was eating quote unquote healthy foods, but he was also having way too much caffeine and nicotine throughout the day. And that was stressing out his entire system. So it's and dehydrating his system, right? Because caffeine is a very strong diuretic. So if you're drinking coffee every morning instead of water, that's a problem, right? chronic dehydration is more common than not. And most people don't actually know what it feels like to be hydrated because they wake up, they have coffee, maybe they have some juice or some milk or something. Later in the day, maybe they have one of these bottles. This is, what is this, 24 ounces? Maybe they have one of those throughout the entire day. But many people are not drinking just water with any kind of consistency. I always like to look at what are the low hanging fruit when it comes to your diet and lifestyle. Those things tend to jump out really obvious. Once we've gone through the intake process, they tend to jump out really obvious. Getting more hydration into your system, making sure that you're getting to sleep at a decent time so you actually have the opportunity to get some quality sleep, and then seeing how much real food is someone eating. Are they cooking at home? Is every meal coming out of a fast food restaurant or coming out of a package? If it is, it's usually a problem. You're not going to get the best quality stuff, natural, clean, healthy, nutrient rich stuff if it's always coming out of a fast food drive-through. It's taking an audit of their life, taking an audit of their lifestyle, their nutrition. And then from there, we can start to personalize what we need to make sure we're focusing on these few things. Hydration is always one of them, as well as sleep. And then from there, we can continue to put the pieces together.
The first place has to be the openness to change that you were talking about, because unfortunately I was very sick. Maybe the literature is different today, but I doubt it. You heard all these horror stories about multiple sclerosis. You just hear all the horror stories. And obviously for most medical literature is there's no optimism. It's always the worst case scenarios and that you're stuck with this forever, that it's an incurable, that you're quote unquote stuck with this forever. So I wasn't really open to change because of all the programming out there saying this was incurable. I can't change it. So why even bother talking to Bryan? Because my head is locked into it's incurable. For me personally, I had to have a paranormal experience get me to question reality. Somebody sitting next to me that wasn't there. And it just took me into another question. Okay, so what's this? Which led me to meditation, which led me to, oh, I have thoughts, but I'm not my thoughts. So that changed everything for me. But I think
Mm.
you asked a really critical question for everyone. I think, when's the last time you felt good? For a lot of people, they don't know that answer.
Yeah. And some people, they might never have really felt good in their memory. Beyond early childhood, they might have always been stressed out, malnourished, dealing with toxins, and struggling, right? Really struggling. So that's a reality for a lot of people. But some people still, if you dig deep enough, you will find something, right? Oh, when I walk my dog in the forest, I feel good, right? Or when I play tennis with my friends, I feel good. Or when I dance with my wife, I feel good. So it's all those little things, those little hints, those indicators of this is something that you need to reconnect to and you need to do as if your life depends on it, right? Because it does. And for me, that looked like spending time in the forest. When I was at my worst, I was struggling, I was barely functioning. If I just went to the forest when I felt most overwhelmed and I stayed there for 30 to 60 minutes, had my journal, climb trees, meditate with the trees, whatever it was, doesn't have to be fancy or some special way of getting into nature. Just hanging out with a bunch of trees. It tends to make you feel better, tends to clear your mind. And so that's what it was for me, right? But for each of us, it's going to be slightly different. Some people are going to love meditation. Some people are going to love hiking up mountains, right? Or riding horses, whatever, or riding a bicycle. That's another one for me as well. Riding a bicycle, it just feels fun. It's great. What are those things that you can do that give you that little boost, that give you that little relief or reprieve from what might otherwise be a constant, painful or stressful situation?
Yeah, I love that you're looking for those nuggets, because I was hit by a van at age 6. So I never really knew what it was to feel good, but I could tell you, like, oh, walking my dog in the woods felt really good. Taking my dog for a walk in the forest felt good. So that'd be like the one nugget you probably could pick up on. Oh, how would you like more of this? Then build upon it that way. So Bryan, I've
Totally.
really enjoyed this conversation. So if people had questions, how could they reach out to you?
First of all, thank you so much for what you do and just for who you are. And I can tell your energy is infectious and you're a man on a mission, as am I. And so it's great to connect with a like minded brother and soul who's doing such great work. So thank you. Thank you for that. For people who want to connect with me, the easiest place is to go to my website. It's revitalizedman.com. If you're looking at the video, you can see how it's spelled. revitalizedman.com. And you'll find links to social media. You can book a free consult. You can find me via email. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. And what I did for your listeners, make a special little link for them with a couple gifts. And so if they go to revitalizedman.com/Sam, SAM, they'll find a free gift. It's my cheat sheet for how to essentially maximize energy and feel your best. And there's a couple other bonuses in there they'll find as well. Some really simple, effective ways to release stress, to feel better, to digest their food better. And so those things are there, totally free for anyone who wants to experience that.
That's great. It's really generous of it for my audience, and I encourage them to go there and get some tips on how to feel good. Life is short. Let's feel good. Let's not waste time. Let's do something about this and change things around. So thank you, Brian. I really enjoyed having you on the conversation.
Absolutely my pleasure. And thank everybody for listening.